Well, that didn't go how I expected it to. Welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B. And, here's the thing. I went to Ottawa last night to go and live stream. There was nothing happening. When I went to Million Man March, Million Man March had ended. Hours later, there were still people at Parliament Hill, protesting, talking about things. There was nobody. There was nobody with signs. Nobody even looked like they were excited about the election. So I didn't go live. While I was walking, I went live later, and then I felt too embarrassed because nobody came into live. And when you join a live in TikTok, so many people came right away, and I knew that everybody was watching other streams, and I knew that I didn't have anything, I was just live in my hotel room, so I went live on TikTok, which I'm I should have linked the live if you wanted to watch the live, but so many people were live last night on YouTube, and I had so many viewers on my TikTok, and I was very frustrated, and people were so rude. And I just want to say this. First of all, this is very close, okay? People are, this is a definitive win. I don't think this was as definitive as people think it was. I want to say some positive things before I get to what I really want to say. First of all, I am very, very, very excited that Gary Keller won the Temiskaming-Nipissing region. I am actually in shock because Northern Ontario has never swayed away from orange. Well, besides red. Now, I'm going to get into another video in depth of why that is, because I think that there's a multitude of reasons why our community specifically went more towards conservative. But I just wanted to let you guys know how happy I am about that, because that means that I'll have somebody helping me with the CRA who is conservative. Which is nice, because Charlie Angus's office didn't want to help us at all. And maybe that's because we weren't in his region, which I just found out this weekend, because we're on the cusp, so whatever. Second, I would like to say I drove for 4 hours and saw Gary Keller's name. 4 hours of my drive of the 6. I am not kidding you. It was an hour before Mattawa, and then it was all the way to North Bay, and then all the way up the 11 to, at least to as far as I go. I don't know. I actually don't know how far it goes, but it's, and I don't even know, does it go more west? Not a clue, because we have there's a huge lake in between our area and Sudbury, Lady Evelyn or something. It's really the reason why it takes so long to get to Sudbury. But anyways, I am very, very, very excited about that. So that's a big win. Lots of new seats for conservatives. So yeah, I am going to get into how I really feel about this. First of all, I want to say that the Liberals in my comments last night were horrendous. The things that they said to me, you guys really want unity? You want unity, and you come on today and make fun of us? Which, by the way, we wouldn't do that for you, because as someone on TikTok said, I didn't want Pierre to win for me. I don't want Pierre to win. I didn't want Pierre to win because I wanted him to win and I wanted to throw it in people's faces. I wanted Pierre to win for the betterment of Canada. I wanted a femicide to stop. I wanted people to get help. I wanted our taxes to go down. I wanted a lot. I've already been looking into moving to Alberta. Maybe that's where I belong. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Maybe that's where I belong. And if they become 51, even better. Because I can't fully picture living in America, moving to America. But if I could go to Alberta and then it become 51, I could handle that. I said that before this election, that if he loses, that I'm going to Alberta and hopefully it becomes 51. I don't know what to say. I don't understand. Hold on. I don't understand how somebody who has worked Honestly, it would be like if Leslie Knope ran for president and lost. Like, imagine somebody who's worked their ass off as a public servant, because don't forget that some people actually do their jobs when it comes to government. Yeah, I know, like, none of us who live in these areas with NDP or Liberals have gotten a lot of help, and you might have. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. There could be amazing NDPs out there. Or maybe even individual Liberals. I think that most of the Liberal team is corrupt. But I can't imagine being Anna watching Pierre lose to someone who moved into Canada last month. My husband was like, he called me during the live stream, and he was like, because I was on TikTok instead of YouTube, and he's like, babe, are you okay? I haven't heard from you. He's like, it's not looking good. He's like, are you genuinely okay? Like, he's not usually, I'm pretty tough, so he's not usually worried about me, but he was worried about me last night. He was like, I genuinely didn't think. And like, keep in mind, my husband and I, we don't talk about politics. I don't talk about these things. I literally, like, one time I was on live, and my friend, in front of him for like the first time, and my friend was like, does he know how much shit you get on the internet? And I was like, no, I don't really talk to him about my presence online at all. He doesn't have TikTok, so anyways. And he was shocked. He was like, how are people doing good? And like, my husband is very like, he'll make left-leaning jokes. Like, he will make jokes like he sounds like he's a liberal being serious in my comments, except for he's just kidding. But like, he doesn't pay attention to politics. Just like, so many things have happened to us, like the CRA coming after us and shit, that he's like, okay, yeah, we need it. You're right. This has got to end. And I guess what just, like, it really bothers me, because the left is like the right is fear-mongering, all these things. Like, the Liberal government put out that report that said we'd be foraging and hunting in our streets in 2040. Do you think that they're lying about that? Do you think that the women who talk about or have been victim to domestic violence are lying, and that this is, like, they genuinely think this is municipalities? They think it has nothing to do with the federal laws. They don't. I don't know what else to tell you, because the things that are clearly federally ran, they don't even admit that was federally ran. According to the left, I don't even know what the Prime Minister's job is. I was looking forward to them being reminded when Pierre was in, and then they were throwing Pierre under the bus and said all of these things were his fault. I was looking forward to that day, but here we are again. I'm not sure how bad Mr. Carney even has to be. The Liberals will look away from anything. I want to be positive. But when someone in their book says that, like, quotes something that says that people who own homes are disposable, and that we are good for keeping law in place and fighting wars. Okay. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say. If C63 goes in, I'm cooked. Should I delete all of my little devil horns? Of course. But it's just like typical for Mark Carney to be implemented as Prime Minister, win this election with the exact same team that ruined our lives for the last 10 years, you guys. It'd be one thing if they changed the entire cabinet up. They didn't. I admire people who have the ability to be positive right now, because I feel like I was yesterday, because it didn't really hit me. And then on the way home, I listened to the song Cancer. Do you think anybody will be held accountable for all of the Canadians that have died waiting for healthcare? And how many more will there be? You know? And, you know, I don't understand, because I've obviously had a lot of things happen to me. But, like, I need to know what in your life, like you voted, if you voted Liberal, what has improved? I don't want to hear. Mark Carney is who we needed to unite the country, like all of the bots on TikTok. I need to know what it has improved about what I am missing. Is there some sort of template people follow to succeed in liberal eras that I'm just missing? Because I did what they said. I got two of them. I did what you guys said to do. I also went to college. I did what I was supposed to do. And now I can't do the thing that I was supposed to do because of things that the liberals made me do or told me was safe and effective. Either one of those things breaks the standard code of ethics that people just don't think exist anymore, according to people in my life last. I talked about DEI. Because here's the thing, instead of focusing on what we could do to protect ourselves during the Panini Press in 2020 September, we sat there and got lectured of how we are inherently racist from birth. I don't know why people think that these things aren't happening. They are 100% happening. It is alleged, because I don't even know how our education money that goes to education, how is that spent? We don't know. And now there's not going to be an audit. There's not going to be anything. There's not going to be anything to, unless Mark Carney gets in and he is this secret conservative that the left keeps saying, like they literally say, well, he's kind of just like a conservative. I don't think communism is conservatism. And I'm not up here crashing out. Like, I genuinely wanted a better future for my family. And this is like you guys thought. And I just want to know how you're succeeding in this life. I thought this was going to be the best option for future generations. Because, like, I seen today that people don't think that the reason that the cost of housing is so high is because of anything that has to do with the federal government. I don't know, inflating our population and creating a housing shortage could do it. You guys realize that 12 years ago during Harper, you could buy a $200,000 home, decent home, with a $50,000 salary, right? Do these people know that? Do these people know that it was, and you know what? Even that was hard, but you could do it. You can. Houses are like $500,000 down south. Some of the houses up here are getting expensive. We still have mandates. There are people that can't get hired in Ontario because they're still not double you-know-whatted. Anyways, I admire Pierre last night for his speech, and I'm glad that he's not giving up, because honestly, this man must love arguing with the government for a living. Because the fact that he's not going to give up and, do another by-election I'm so proud of him, and that makes me so happy, because I was genuinely sad when Jagmeet Singh stepped down, which I can't believe he admitted that he sacrificed his party to make sure that the Conservatives didn't get in. Thanks, Jagmeet. Have fun not having a job. Sitting well with your pension. Makes you sick, doesn't it? And two, I want to say this. In the Bible it says, do not fear. And I prayed. My car started acting up halfway to Ottawa, and I prayed and I said, God, please don't let me die. Please don't let us die. Get us safely to Ottawa, there, back. And immediately the car stopped doing that thing. And then on the way home today, my daughter and I almost got into a car accident because a truck driver decided to pass last minute in the, I don't know if you know Northern Ontario, but we have like passing lanes at the top of a hill. If I didn't calmly swerve, and every factor had to happen, that I wasn't near a cliff because I would have been off of a cliff, that it wasn't raining and that there wasn't flash flooding at that time because I had already hit flash flooding like this, I almost had my life flash before my eyes. And guess what? I didn't want to die. I was very relieved that we survived. And I know that sounds dark, but the thing is too, is like, we own our house because we are one of the lucky young millennials, like, well, I don't know, are we old millennials? I don't know. Who settled down, gave up on life, and bought a house at 25. That's what people told me, that I was giving up. No, I think I made a conscious decision at the age of 25 to get married to my best friend. But anyways, and because of that lucky random decision, we will be okay. But I don't know if like my sisters will ever be able to buy a house. I don't know if my kids will be able to buy a house. And it sucks because I want to move to Alberta really bad and have a homestead. But we're definitely going to have to buy another house before we find our forever home, probably. But that's me thinking out loud. So anyways, I just wanted to say that if you watch my videos, thank you guys. And I'm sorry. I was also alone with my daughter because of happenstances of everything. And I was like, is it the safest to go live with my daughter or even myself in a city? I don't know. Do people do that? I honestly really wanted to be in the room with Pierre. And when I got back to my hotel after literally searching everywhere or anywhere for anybody who cared about the election downtown Ottawa, seen that he had invited people to the hall. Because I was watching CTV and they're like, yeah, Pierre Poilievre's just watching the results with his family. I get that. And I was like, well, maybe I should go do that too. I will say that I taught my daughter the importance of voting and showed her Ottawa, and it was a really special time. And if you got to come to my TikTok live, thank you so much for showing up. I know a bunch of people follow me from there, so you guys saw me over there. But yeah, and you know what? I got food poisoning earlier this week. This is the worst week ever. I came home, it was 25 in Ottawa this morning. It's snowing in Northern Ontario, you guys. What? It's May on Friday. It's May on Friday. Anyways. So, as My Chemical Romance says, we'll carry on. And no matter what, you guys have survived this far, okay? We have survived this far. I say that to myself because you guys know I'm almost unalived. But I'm still here. And I got, last night it was just way closer than I thought it would be, thinking Pierre would win. And how close it is makes me happy. But I don't know, guys. What are your thoughts? Please let me know. I will keep ranting. I had no idea what to say to you guys. I want to be hopeful. Congratulations to Mark Carney, I guess. I really hope that you have changed your vision of what and how you see us from your book. I actually pray that God softens your heart. So anyways, guys, tell me how you're feeling, please. Now you know how I'm feeling, and I'll be back tomorrow for a new video, so please like and subscribe. I'll be here till C63 goes through. Have a good one.